Welcome, Podnutz Pro, show number 49. This is the show where we take you from being that home PC tech and you expand your knowledge and just become server guy or girl, depending on who you are. The co-host, the man of the show, his name is Matt Rainey. How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, Lalo. How about you?
I'm doing outstanding on this Wednesday, hump day. So the week's halfway over and going down the home stretch.
That's right. More than halfway because we're 3 days done, so 2 days left. So
Touche. Touche.
looking forward to, although it is going to rain all weekend long where I live. So, we'll see.
In Florida, we have the sun and more sun, but hey.
Yeah, Louisiana, we get sun, rain, sun, rain, sun, rain.
So what will we be talking about in today's show?
Well, we got some emails, so I want to go over those, and we'll see how much time we have left. The topic I was gonna talk about tonight might take up a little too long, so definitely get through some of these emails. Some more good emails, good questions from people.
Outstanding, and we appreciate all the emails that we're getting. Again, it's not that we don't have any topics to talk about per se, but if the emails keep coming in, we'll keep answering them. So, first email of the show is from Steve-O. It says, question for the show. Matt, in one of your last shows, you talked about a client who bought Windows 7 Home Premium and was trying to log on to the domain. When they asked if it could be done, you just told them no. On the show, you said after sigh, the famous sigh, that it could be done, but it took about 3 steps and some changes to permissions, I believe. For the times that I may have to do this, what are the steps and what are the limitations of the user's local machine? Thanks for all of you and that'll do.
All right. So I do remember the sigh because I'm going to tell you why I don't do this first. When somebody brings in they have their home computer or they went and bought one off the shelf and it's got Windows 7 Home Premium and there's a domain. Obviously, Windows Home Edition of any Microsoft product cannot join a domain. But I don't do it because if you do it once, you're going to be doing it over and over again. And before you know it, this whole company is going to be running on Windows Home Premium. And that's not good. You lose centralized administration. You have to worry about local accounts on their computers. You lose a lot of administrative capabilities.
I mean, which is the biggest key there. I mean, you can't, the whole purpose of a domain is to administer all of your clients.
Right. I can't RDP into it because, of course, there's no RDP in Windows 7 Home Premium. And just a lot of things you can't do. And I know that it's presented normally as, hey, this guy just needs to do this. Can we do it for him? But once the cat's out of the bag and they realize that they can access network resources with Windows 7 Home Premium, you're going to find more and more calls to do it. So that's why I don't do it.
Now,
and it's not just that I don't do a lot of things clients ask me to do it because I don't feel they should do it because it's going to lead to more not necessarily more work for me. It will be more work for me, but their IT costs will go up because of things they might want to implement that aren't good ideas for domains.
Now, for those that are wondering, do you have a magic way to connect a Windows 7 Home PC to a domain, or are we talking about how to access resources on a domain?
Okay, right. So I have magic, but not for this. Okay, so since Windows 7 Home Premium or Windows Vista Home, none of those XP Home, none of them can join a domain. But you don't technically have to be joined to the domain to access domain resources. What you have to do is have an authenticated account to access network resources. Now, normally, when you are logging into your computer that's joined to the domain, you are at that point authenticating as soon as you log in. When you log into a Windows 7 Home Premium computer and you log in, you are authenticating to the local computer. So you are not authenticating to any network resources. So the only trick here is you can go onto the local computer, map a network drive just using different credentials. So you're going to say this drive F, you're going to browse. You may not be allowed to browse. You may have to type the path in / server name / share. You'd want to do reconnect that login, and I'll explain that in a second, why that's our problem. And there's a checkbox, at least in Windows 7, right on the front, connect using different credentials. So when you go to hit connect, you're going to get a prompt to authenticate. The authentication format needs to be domain name / username, and that is the user account on the domain. So even if this user doesn't have a domain account, he just brings in a local computer, you're still going to have to create a domain user account for him.
Right. And that's the biggest mistake I see people do. Even us IT guys, they want to access a network resource. You put in your ID and password, go, man, it doesn't work. You have your password, the reset, it's domain name / your username, then your password.
Right. If you just put in the username, then what it's going to send as authentication is by default your local computer name. So if your computer name is Dell123 and your username is Bob, it's going to send Dell123 / Bob.
Right.
So you've got to specify, no, send this domain / domain username, which may be different than his local username, and the domain password. So that will allow you to map the network drive. I've said before, I don't like doing that in passing different login credentials in scripts, because you got to put the password in the in plain text for somewhere, somebody can see that. I guess you could do a script and leave the password off. So you could do a net use drive / user and then domain / username, but then it would stop at that screen. Everybody knows that black screen that comes up, and it would just be waiting there till they put in their password. And I can tell you it's going to confuse a user if you do that.
And also, another con of this is if you do have it in a batch file, and if you say, Matt Lotto, I don't care, I'll put it in plain text. If you ever change that password, that user account will get locked out repeatedly, and you'll wonder why.
Right. Then you got to remember that, on this computer, I've got this script trying to map a network drive. So here's the problem. It may work. It's going to work fine. It'll authenticate. It'll send it. They'll get access to the network. Everything's fine. Today is Monday. You do it. It's fine. Great. You might get a call on Thursday. Hey, my network drive's gone. Can you redo it? And you'll be getting calls all the time to redo the map drive because for whatever reason it lost the credentials. Maybe he tried to log in. I know this happened on XP. You try and log in and it says, hey, this network cannot be found. Do you want to try to connect this next time? And of course, users don't read pop-up messages. So they may as well be in some foreign language. They click on no. So next time they get to the office, they log in, it's not going to try and reconnect the drive because it says, no, this doesn't exist anymore. Don't try and connect it. It's just too often you're going to get calls to remap them. Then you're going to get calls to do it for other people. But the bottom line is you can do it. You can map it using different credentials, and you will be able to access the network resources. Is the short answer.
Right, and you don't want your clients to actually do this. And the only time I really do this, Matt, the only time I can really think of is when I need to access a file or something on a machine on the network. That's the only time I ever do this, if I'm on a non-domain PC. You?
You mean you do it, not the users?
Right, I do it. And
yeah,
that's
I use it all the time as well.
Okay.
I use it all the time, but I don't let users do it, and I don't let them know that they can do it because I don't want those computers on the network.
Of course.
And of course, the next question is, how can we get them access? Well, with Windows 7, it's much easier. Windows Anytime Upgrade, I think it's under $100 to upgrade from home to professional. So if they truly want to access the resources, Windows Anytime Upgrade. They can pay for the upgrade. Now you can join them to the domain, and now everything's going to work perfectly fine. It's much easier now to do this. Before, with XP, it wasn't as easy.
Gotcha.
Windows 7, no problem. It is. So you tell them, yes, it can be done. We just need to upgrade you.
Yeah. No.
Get your credit card out. You're gonna pay for this. We can connect remotely. We can do it right now, and you'll be up and running. So,
and I agree. And the end all be all is it can be done. It's something that you don't want to do because it's going to cause a support nightmare. So,
and on the same kind of note, this kind of thing is common where users will ask you to do things that yes you can do, but you really shouldn't. I'll quickly give an example. An example I had, I think today or yesterday. A user says, and then of course we have a watch guard in this particular company, and we do web filtering. So a lot of sites aren't accessible because of management's decision to block certain types of sites. So what we have is we have a select few group of users that have access to everything, and the rest of the users are blocked based on the protocol, the policies that the company wants to have set. So they'll call us from time to time saying, "Oh, unblock this site." Let's just say, Amazon.com or whatever site, because one of the categories we have blocked is shopping, because they don't want them shopping online. Now, shopping, of course, applies to many more sites than you might think it applies to.
sure.
Office supplies. They're looking for office supplies. Office Depot is blocked. So there's some sites that legitimately they want unblocked. Now, normally the typical user is not going to be shopping for office supplies for the company. Usually office manager is doing that. And the office manager in this case is not blocked at all. Another quick side note, tangent of a tangent. If you're going to unblock people completely when you're using web filtering, let them know that they are now open to all the viruses and spyware on the internet, because they're bypassing all the protection that was put in place. So I got a call. I want you to unblock this site for this one user. Now, can that be done? Okay. Yes, it can be done. With the WatchGuard, I can create a policy that's going to allow access to this one user to this one website. Should I do it? No, I'm not going to do that. Same thing. It's presented just this one person needs this for now. If I say yes, I'll be unblocking one particular site for one user till the day I die.
Now, was this website for production purposes or for more of it would be nice just to get to the site so I can view it?
It was something for, I'm trying to think of the exact site. It was for changing casters on a chair, the little rollers on chairs. Mm-hmm. It was for that. Now, it's a specific site. I don't know why they would want to block the rest of the company from looking at casters in this particular instance. I don't think the company is going to spend all the users in the company are going to waste their whole day looking at casters now that that site's unblocked.
No, I agree, but
I don't think it's as entertaining as YouTube or Hulu. Hey, check out page 43, that yellow caster. That's really cool.
It's awesome. So, just to make it clear, if this was a site that all the users needed to get to, then you will make a global change. What you're saying is that you're not going to micromanage this thing to the point where Bob needs access to these 4 sites and Mary needs access to these 8 sites.
I'm going to add, so I told him I can either add this site to the exception so everyone can get to it, or I can add that user to the bypass and they can get to everything. That's your choices.
Now, what for a listener who is saying, man, but don't you charge by the hour? Wouldn't that be extra work or extra money in your pocket?
Technically, yes, but I don't think it's good. I'd have by the end of next month 1,000 entries in the router, and that gets hard to manage. So I can't